Do you ever have that go-to outfit that you just put on? It's just so you and you just feel like yourself. I am wearing my overalls and my go-to Meredith outfit, a headband with the stars. Today I am filming such an important video. Stay with me. I am from Brisbane and I grew up in China, but I had done my studies in Australia. I studied my photography diploma at TAFE in South Bank, and I just wanted to share bits and pieces of my whole journey over a year's time. The whole point of the video really is to encourage you to embark on your own creative journey. So yeah, let's begin the video. On August 2nd, 2018, I finally made the leap and bought a camera. I did heaps of research. I didn't just go for the cheapest option. I really looked at my long-term goal, my long-term vision, long-term investment. Honestly, my favorite camera to this day. I take it with me wherever I go, whether it's hangout or whether it's a wedding day. I just love photographing with this camera. I want to get a second camera exactly like this. Love the fact that this thing flips out and you can just take photos with it like that. This camera is very affordable and a good place to start. Very first photo shoot I did on this camera was when me and Georgia, we went on this night escapade to Goma, a modern art gallery, and they had this art piece that was literally the building itself light up into different colors during the nighttime, and it was so beautiful, reflected across the river. So we took lots and lots of photos like this. It was one of the best days of my life. I lived with Georgia in the city center, and we would have friends come over, and I had friends who were also creatives that loved photography. We would take photos of each other. We would make cool creative things and make our house like a really creative environment to be in. Georgia has always been someone who's been super creative from young, and she is a graphic designer. Living with creative people definitely is such a blessing. It's such a gift. Go in with the same mind, the same vision, and you just grow together. During this course, I made so many beautiful friendships, and I really loved group projects. We got sent out on weekly group assignments, photograph different things, and it would be super practical and super hands-on. We had to do product photography, and we had to use famous paintings and famous artists, and we had to use their work to incorporate it into a product or a food that we had to advertise. And so we changed it, advertise cornettos. So that was really fun, and so much hard work. Like at the time I really knew nothing about Photoshop, and even now Photoshop gives me a headache, so that is something I need to change. John came over from England to hang out with me in September, and then he came in the January as well, and I had started my course in July, and even though I was studying at the time, it wasn't super busy. I was able to take lots of really beautiful photos with him and just like go around the city and hang out, drink lots of bubble tea, and do lots of photo shoots. An assignment that we had to present, and we had to photograph a food or make it into a commercial shoot. Did a whole shoot on donuts. Donut worry, be happy or something weird like that. But I got free Krispy Kremes. I emailed Krispy Kremes and I offered them my photos. Management changed, so then we didn't end up exchanging photos, but I still have them if Krispy Kreme wants them. Set up some lights and saw how something could work. A really beginner shoot. First time I had photographed food. Who doesn't love a good donut once in a while? One day at church, I was asked to photograph a wedding, which was on this island near Brisbane. I didn't know anything about photographing a wedding. I asked Lizzie Rose, who was like really good at photography, like better at photography than I was. Both went and photographed this wedding, and it was like on a smaller scale, so for us to practice, it was such a great opportunity. A lot of it was improvised, but now that I look back on it, it was just super chill, and we had so much fun, and it was a super rainy day, being more like a family shoot and like a wedding shoot all into one. Comment down below if you want me to make a video on how to prepare for a wedding day shoot, because I would love to do that if you guys are interested. We also had this amazing field trip that was photography related at TAFE. Our lecturer Paul took us to Springbrook, and we were like in our raincoats. We had plastic bags over our camera. It wasn't like a typhoon or anything, but it was just super rainy and stormy. A lot of my classmates opted out. Sometimes you just like don't want to risk your equipment getting super wet. They had had work or something. When you look at those calendar pictures of like smooth silky water, it's like long exposure shots. And so I'll show one of them here. Get out into nature and do something that was really practical and really fun. One thing that is so important to mention is that my old laptop of 11 years broke down because I started applying all of this Adobe Suite softwares onto my computer, and it literally crashed while I had all these assignments. So before you go into a photography course and you're going to load up all of these software programs that you're going to use for editing, check that your laptop is capable of this. And this was during my birthday, before I had bought a Windows, and I was like, why the heck did I buy a Windows? I love Mac so much. It was a complete catastrophe of going from like a broken MacBook Pro that hardly worked to buying a Windows that I didn't end up wanting, and then I ended up buying this like amazing MacBook Pro that I'm still using today. Because don't just switch randomly when, you know, you're in the middle of all of these assignments. Don't make the same mistake I did. I took every opportunity to photograph my friends for fun, and I ended up posting a lot of their pictures, and they would make them into their profile pics, which made me really happy. And yeah, it was just a safe place to start photographing. I started to appreciate the memories that photographs. I got one of my friends to photograph me and John, and we went on this photo shoot and got lots of really cute pictures of ourselves because we were in a long distance relationship, and having those photos were absolute gold, and it like brought so much joy to my heart looking back on them whenever I missed John. I think one of my favorite kinds of photo shoots are surprise proposals as well as engagements. So I love picking really beautiful spots for any kinds of planned engagement shoots. I even suggested to one of my friends that he'd pick one of these cliffs because I think I had a dream or something, and then it ended up happening, and it was such a beautiful time. But being able to choose something beautiful like near the ocean or near the sunflower fields, it was just such an epic time. And I remember when we rocked up in New South Wales time, because the clocks had changed, so the timing was different. So I had 15 minutes to photograph in a sunflower field, but the adrenaline, it was great. I found that super exciting and really fun. The couples that I was with really appreciated having those photos, and I think for me to be able to provide those memories for them, it was such an honor. I went on a really cute road trip with two of my friends who were pregnant with their first baby, and we went to one of the national parks and we walked through where all the forests and the trees were. I took lots of photos, and I just got some inspiration from Pinterest because I didn't kind of know how to really do it. It was like my very first maternity shoot. I just made it more into a couple shoot and incorporated photos of the tummy and just make it really sweet for them to have. For our end of year assignments, we had to have our AIPP photos that we submitted, which were 3 of them. We had to do an illustrative portfolio of 10 photos, and then we had to have, I think, 10 photos for our professional. So I was really trying hard to do like a Jurassic themed photo shoot, and it ended up not working, but I got a whole bunch of dinosaurs from Kmart and I was taking photos of them. With this photo shoot, it taught me that there's all these ideas that we can create if we're really good at Photoshop.
Afternoon everyone, I am doing an amazing photo shoot with my friends. Aren't they just so stunning?
While living in Brisbane City, I would take the train every morning to TAFE, and it would take about 40 minutes on the train. But going back and forth, one of my favorite things to do was listening to podcasts. I would like talk to Jesus in my head. I love like having chats with God. It was just such a great time building a relationship with God, and also reading a lot of books. I ended up making a lot of friends on the train, and God would give me prophetic words for them, and they would just like start crying, or their face will just be like completely startled. But it was just such a cool time of just like listening to God's voice, taking that time to be really mindful and reading and listening to all these business podcasts. I really enjoyed that period of time going back and forth on the train. I think this was a Saturday morning, but I took my beautiful friend Lizzie to her nearby kind of beach area. Not the beach that you would swim in, but more so just for photos. Today I am filming Lizzie at Brighton Beach. So here is Lizzie here. We had such a good time doing lots of creative portraits, and this was 6-7 a.m. in the morning. Australia gets really hot and really bright quickly in the morning. Having that opportunity to get up, get really excited, get those pictures. I used a lot of feathers in her photos.
Yay!
Incorporate different items into a photo shoot and set a tone that's very magical.
Turn around. Yeah, yes.
As you guys know, I love stars. I got a whole bunch of star stickers from the dollar store, and I stuck them on Rainbow, who is my beautiful sister, who's also an actress. If you want to check her out on Bureau of Magical Things, she is incredible. I stuck a whole bunch of stars on her neck and on her face. I don't know if you guys have seen Hunchback of Notre Dame, but there's like a girl in it who looks very gypsy like. I did a lot of photos in her university campus.
I am at UQ and I am using my Canon 60 Mark II and my 50mm lens 1.4. So today we are gonna photograph Rainbow. Hi guys. This is my model. Guys, look at her. She's so beautiful. Give us a twirl.
I really appreciated that we got introduced to film photography at the very beginning of our course, dabbling in the darkroom with like different equipment. I think because photography started out in these really cool old processes that are literally like the OG of photography, like before digital, before any of like Adobe Suite or any of that editing stuff came out, it was all done in the darkroom manually. And so I think doing that was such a beautiful process. If you guys are interested in film photography, Jessica Whitaker has released a whole range of videos on film cameras and also what to do in film photography if you're interested. But it was just something that I really enjoyed. We had to get film paper that was only allowed to be opened in the dark room, otherwise it would be completely ruined, and then we had to put them in all these different chemicals. We would project our film onto the paper and it would darken the photo as we put it through the different chemicals, and we had to wash it and we had to dry it. It was just such a crazy cool experience. If you have any sort of opportunity to do that, I would highly recommend it, because now photography is shaped a lot by how instant it is on an iPhone. Taking that process to process it for ages just gives you a new appreciation. For a really empowering brand, I got asked to photograph a whole bunch of clothing, and all of our friends at church modeled for this brand. Got to take lots of these photos in the city, and I just edited them all in the same look and style, and I really enjoyed it. It was my first ever clothing shoot. If you have a friend who has a business or a clothing brand, definitely photograph them for free if you want, or they can pay you a little bit of money. Having that opportunity to get practice in is so incredible, and I really liked it. In my illustrative portfolio, I bought a tiara and I put it on Emmy.
Today with my model, I was able to shoot with this golden crown here, and this was our photo shoot location.
She's an incredible model. We went to someone's backyard and I got her to put on lots of different outfits, and then we just photographed on this platform that was supposed to be this cubby house that was never built, but we just like walked around the backyard and did a heap of creative photos, and I was really proud with how they came out. All about just having fun. I think I didn't really have it figured out, any strategy behind it. I'm just gonna go for it. Emmy was so kind. Emmy, if you're watching this, you're incredible.
We shot in the backyard of someone's house, and there was a lot of land facing that way. I was able to shoot through some plants and have different outfits, and it was just such a good day. Yeah, we'll see the photos soon.
The most exciting thing ever was my second photo shoot in weddings by myself. It was crazy because one of my friends just asked me to photograph them, and I was so honored because they're such beautiful people. Oh my gosh. So I was photographing Princess Ariel and Aladdin's wedding. It was in this beautiful rainforest garden, and they had alpacas, but the bride didn't like alpacas that much. But I'm like, I wanted to capture emotion. I wanted to capture stuff that was in action. They're a couple whose love story is so beautiful. How God is in their relationship, oh my gosh. If you meet them in person, they're just so incredible. Your attitude on the wedding day and how you carry yourself as a bride and groom really affects the way the photos look as well. So it's not only just the photographer's job to put them at ease and put them in their element. When you get married on your day, like, the more you just don't stress and you just let things happen and you let that joy kind of radiate from you, your photos are just going to turn out so beautifully, like, no matter what. The key to this whole time at photography college is having a planner. A planner will change your life. I know that everyone's saying how, you know, their planners have been wasted because of coronavirus, but honestly, having a planner is so key. We got to submit for AIPP and we went for a lot of print critiques together. We got our prints critiqued and it was so much fun just hearing all the feedback and how these photography judges judge the work. We were just having so much fun, kind of just sitting there and hanging out. It was so cool. I thought I'd add a bit of beautiful scenery that I'd see every day coming home from TAFE. The rainbow, which represents God's promises. Beautiful colors in the sky. Okay, with my photography exhibition, I asked Georgia's siblings to model for me. It was kind of like an industrial sort of styled photo shoot. I just loved BBC films. I've loved them my whole life and I just wanted to do something really similar with luggage and old-fashioned clothes. These two, they skipped school for me. They were happy to skip school, I think. Dad and mom literally brought all of these cool photography props and themselves all the way from Toowoomba to Brisbane, which is like 2 hours. That is a long time to drive, like both ways. They were really formal portraits, but I wanted to also capture the essence of childhood, the way they carry themselves and their personalities and how they interact with each other, that they were in really kind of adult looking clothes, and I just thought that was so cute. They were such good models and they were so patient and so kind, and to this day I'm like, I hope I can do another photo shoot just like it when they're older, so they can we can have the before and the after. I love children so much. Like, if you are in Brisbane or in England, or if I ever travel anywhere, please hire me to do your family shoots, because I love family shoots so much. So please message me if you want me to photograph your family. Today I am doing a studio shoot at TAFE and I am doing 11 and 9, I think 11 and 10-year-olds. So they're gonna have this really classic look, and I've set up 4 lights in the studio with a crumpled black background. I'm really excited to set a scene that kind of portrays like the olden days.
So, are you taking the photos?
I'm taking video. Where is Ella? Come here, Ella. This is the documenting.
You look absolutely magnificent. Oh my gosh.
Do I do non-smiling?
Yeah, you can do non-smiling.
Or I'll do a video now. No, and then do one room over here, like that.
I'm like just straight. Can I just get you to sit a little bit this way? Yeah. With the light boxes, we were taught how to do studio setup. So we had different kinds of light boxes in different shapes, different kinds of honeycomb things or different shapes that would go over the lights themselves, and they would produce different kinds of effects. So as you would know, there's like the beauty dish. I planned for all of my, either my friends or my classmates, people that I knew, to come in for me to photograph them and photograph their beauty and their elegance. And I just wanted to do a whole photo shoot just on women. I wanted it to have more of a message behind it, but I think after a while the work just really got to me. It was so tiring. At the end of it, it was so worth it. Pushed myself to capacity where I would always go to the studio once a week, and even though it was a lot of hard work, I think it was so worth it learning. And if you have any opportunity to photograph in a studio, for me, I personally really like outdoor photo shoots, but having like the indoor photo shoots and working with different lights really helps you understand lighting and how the light affects everything. Playing around with that was really cool, and I'm just so thankful for all my friends who showed up, contributed their time to be photographed. I was really, really happy. Thank you. For some texture in my photo shoot with the siblings, I crumpled up black paper and hung it up so you can get like different colors, you can get like different textures. So for that, crumpling the background was really, really cool. Ended up having to cut out these white frames for our prints, so we had to hang them up on the wall, and it was this big exhibition where thousands of people would come through and look at our work. So TAFE has all these different areas. They have gaming, graphic design, illustration, photography, all of these different things. So it was like an arts night, and so everyone came and visited. We had all our work up on the walls, and it was quite stressful at the end because it was like really busy. All our lecturer was working really, really hard to help us all cut out these frames, and we had to get our work printed professionally, which was very expensive. So I had all my work printed on really, really nice paper, and the larger sizes that I got of Caleb and Ella was so expensive, but it was so worth the money in the end. I mean, like, it's just the whole experience is so worth it. On my exhibition night, we got all dressed up. Everything was like darkly lit. It was all very moody. My parents came to my photography exhibition with me, and they were so proud of me, and I was just so happy to be able to show them all of my hard work. Close friends to come to see my photography work, enjoy their company. This long journey of working so hard and like looking back, the rewards of working hard and learning so much. It was just so cool, like seeing all of my classmates show off their hard work, enjoy other areas in TAFE like floristry and graphic design. Like, we just fully enjoyed being able to look around and look at everyone's creative work. If you don't know this, I was studying a bachelor's in teaching in primary education for 4 years, and I changed over to doing photography for a year. So having this like really, really long study journey, but my main university time had like fully ended, and I was able to just chill out. And then after that, I photographed a wedding in Toowoomba, which was very, very beautiful. Took off a month in July to detox from social media, and I just had a really amazing time just being present, and it was so nice. Packed up everything. I decluttered. This is where I learned how to declutter, pack up, and then I moved to England, and all my friends saw me off at the airport. After a 24-hour flight, I was reunited with John Mendelsohn. I had like really, really missed my boyfriend at the time, now fiance and soon to be husband. I'm so excited now that I am reunited with him, and I have photographed some weddings in England so far. All of my weddings that I have been scheduled to photograph in 2020 have been postponed because currently in England we are in lockdown, and we are waiting for the news to see what's going to happen. But yes, I'm very excited to photograph more weddings and more families and portraits in the future, and I'm not worried. I really know that there's something really good coming in the future. I'm just so happy that I get to share this with you guys. For all of you who are interested in photography, or you're already a photographer, or you're wanting to learn photography for your business or brand, I literally have counted every moment of doing this as such an adventure. So I highly recommend you do the same. Don't even hesitate, because in the end this skill will incorporate into everything else you like to do. Nowadays we live in a world that is so visual, and even if you want to document your own family, your own life in a beautiful way, having this skill is so helpful. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and comment down below anything you want to see next. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.